Okay, folks, I think we have this going. Let's show our faces now.
Hey,
hello,
everyone.
how are we doing?
I have a Chicago Fire shirt, and Daddy has the normal.
The normal, I have a different thing every day if I can manage it.
And me too.
So we're going to try and kick this out in 20. I'm determined today we're going to do it. Anyway, Redmond, how are you?
Good.
Good, I'm
Normally.
glad to hear it. That should make for a reasonably decent day for talking. So we will start off with the results from the weekend past.
Yep, and what we thought. So it looks like mine got treated not great. I gave it a 3-0 to Eintracht Frankfurt, and you thought it was going to be a draw, Dad, so...
Yeah, well, let's run down through them quickly. Frankfurt won the Rhine Derby. Juve women beat Fiorentina in the Supercup for women in Italy.
I thought it would go
to penalties.
One.
Yeah, you thought they'd win after penalties. Plateau United started off the season well with a good 3-0 victory in the Nigerian Premier League. Fingers away from that. I know what you're prone to do. And Colo Colo.
I was actually the same score.
Yes, well done. You got one right.
No.
But Colo Colo, they won, so they're off the bottom. They are not in great shape, but they've got a few games left. And when I checked, it's actually, I think they've only lost one now in the last 4 or 5, 2 draws and 2 wins, I think. CD Olympia and Botagua had a scoreless draw, so we weren't actually able to see highlights of that one, unfortunately. But we did see a cracker in Esteghlal against Persepolis. We'll
I'm gonna tell you first about the game. So Esteghlal starts out with a good start and scoring a 1 goal. Then they're losing track. They're literally doing that. They were down 2-0, but then Esteghlal had a goal, but it was offside, so it wasn't in. And then a last-minute goal appears for Esteghlal, and it's not offside. 2-0, and you're both like, because even the offside goal, because that was some game. It's goal of the week. Game of the week.
It was. I think we'll get to it again in a little bit. Esteghlal. But Esteghlal going goal up. Persepolis going to anyway. The Ahli kicked off. Churchill Brothers had the biggest win, 5-2 away. So they're setting down a marker early. Again, it's after one game and the 2 biggest teams are gone to the Super League, so it's very hard to know what's going to happen there. I'm sure people who run booking offices like this crowd probably have an idea better than I do. Vlasnia beat Toitiduras 1-0 on Friday to extend their lead at the top of the Albanian top division. Liverpool in the FA Cup played against a team of mostly reserves thanks to the COVID and won 4-1 against Aston Villa, which is, I suppose...
And I was really close. I thought it'd be 4-2. Just like...
Probably turn around after Aston Villa beat Liverpool youth side, basically, last year 5-0. Apparently, Tony Cascarino said that Liverpool disrespected Aston Villa by attempting to win the game. Granada got hammered 4-0 by Barcelona. Looks like they're back on form. Griezmann and Messi scoring both goals there. While male Juventus won 3-1. Interesting game. They did not play well. They probably deserved to beat Sociedad. I had a discussion with this with a friend on the internet. But by and large, they did what they needed to do, especially with Inter throwing away 2-1 lead against Roma earlier in the day, or is it in the weekend? So they're doing what they need to. AC still going strong, even though they lost at the weekend.
I No.
Anyway, you can see our estimates beside it. I was marginally less awfully wrong than I was last week. Redmond, of course, you will hear every correct result he's got. Let's very quickly look at what the game of the week was. We went with Esteghlal Persepolis.
Because the game was like so tight, and that last minute goal was so good.
It was a really exciting one to watch. We got I think an 8 to 10 minute highlight of it. Persian football up to stuff, folks. It is well worth watching.
That game.
Whatever you feel about supporting the regime, if you can watch it for free on the internet, you can watch it for free on the internet.
If you don't like any of those teams, just look up Persepolis against Esteghlal, and you'll be amazed by the last minute goal.
They now know there's a last minute goal to come, so you've kind of given that away. So we can't recommend it as one to watch unknowingly. It'll be next to impossible to see this one without knowing the result. So Borussia Mönchengladbach's win against Bayern Munich was fantastic to watch.
It was
2-0 down after 26 minutes, I think.
And then they came back with 3 goals.
Mm-hmm. There were a few games that were worth the watch this weekend.
Yeah, like
personally,
the Esteghlal again.
Watching, and this is nothing anti-Leeds, but watching Crawley Town's victory in the FA Cup was a delight as well. And I very nearly, I would have said there was a good shout for Crawley's first goal to be goal of the week, but especially because somebody pretty much said it as soon as he saw it. Goal of the weekend, as far as we're concerned, is Juventus's first goal against Sassuolo from Danilo. Do you remember that?
No.
That's the one where he's the full back and he gets the ball and he wallops it from range. And finally, would you stop? And he breaks the deadlock. Unfortunately, Juventus conceded shortly after, but they pulled 2 goals back. Later on for Ramsey and Ronaldo. Yes, you are in the picture. Anyway, this week's previews, and we don't have much time because we spent a lot of time describing things. I swear we will get this to 20 minutes one of these days. We have 12. So I'm going to start off looking in CAF, which is Africa, in Tunisia, which is always a good league to watch. Some really good teams there. On the 13th, which I'm going to have to guess is Wednesday, at 14 hours CET. CS, which I'm presuming is Club Sportif, Sfaxien against Esperance. Esperance are top of the table. These are 2 of the bigger teams in Tunisian football. Esperance, I think we're about 12 games in, and they are starting to open up a bit of a lead. Sfaxien, they're a team that can still make it there. Honestly, it's it will prove to be one of the games of the weekend, the week, I think, if you follow your African football. Sorry, by the way, I don't have any Sudanese football score tracker at the moment, if people want to hear about that. If you have a particular interest in a particular league and you want them to get a shout out some week, shout. Do let us know.
And put it in the comments down below.
Put it in the comments down below.
So we'll know what league.
Yep. Jumping on to CONCACAF, onto the same night. There's a lot of games on Wednesday that are of note. At 21 hours CET, we've got the all of El Salvador's Apertura League playoff quarterfinals take place that night at 21 hours CET. In this case, this is Sonsonate. CD Sonsonate against CD FAS. Now, Sonsonate, I think they're in their 2nd or 3rd season up in the top division. They're pretty much a new team, and they're playing literally the most successful team in the history of El Salvador. They've won most leagues. They've won the precursors of the Champions League once for CONCACAF, and you'd have to fancy them. I can't remember if it's 2-legged or not, but there's a load of quarterfinals gone. I think if you trawl around the internet, you might find them. Again, 21 hours CET on, what day is it? On Wednesday. Jumping back, I'm going to go to. I'm finding a habit of making my picks of the week being the games that are on at odd times, i.e., the ones we've missed. And this one actually may be coming close to over right now. Huge game that we hadn't called for last week. A lot of the Middle Eastern or Arab nations tend to have their games on Mondays and Tuesdays, largely owing to Juma being on a Friday, so you're not going to be holding it then. But Al Sadd against Al Duhail, leave that alone, thank you. Al Sadd against Al Duhail in Qatar, the Qatar Stars League, should be a cracker. Al Sadd have Santi Cazorla, which people will know. They're starting to, again, 12 games in or thereabouts, they're starting to put some distance between them and the other teams. It's probably over by now. It started at 16 hours 45, I think, earlier today. I have heard some goal scores coming in. Let's have a look at Qatar. I can give you the score from this game. My game of the week is already 70 minutes in. It's 2-1 to Al Sadd. 2 goals from Bunija.
And even goals of the week is there.
Having come from behind from Al Duhail's 6-minute penalty from Ahli. Again, apologies for mangling pronunciation here, but I can't not mention this game. Al Sadd have won the last couple of games, and if the score stays the same, they open up an 11-point lead in the table. So yeah, Al Duhail need to win this one in order to bring it back down to 5 points after 14 games. We're 70 minutes into that game.
On Fox, sorry for my pronunciation. If they win, they're going to stay top of the table.
Yes, if the score stays as it is, Al Sadd take off again. Back to Europe, and we'll have a look around Europe for a few minutes. Fingers away from the orifices.
PSG against Olympique Marseilles.
Olympique Marseilles, as in l'OM. And this is the French Supercup. It's interesting how many Supercups are taking place so late in the season. So, who knows? This is the latest one. We haven't actually predicted the scores on any of the games so far, Redmond. So after we talk about this one, let's have a look at it. Arguably Marseille, one of the most successful teams in France, PSG the other.
Really
it's
successful. And LOL's quite successful.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Super Cup, so who cares? But I think at this point, especially seeing as they didn't start the league well, PSG have to win everything they can. And Marseille want to get one over on them. This late into the season, it makes sense. So that game starts at 21 hours CET on Wednesday. Redmond, who do you think is going to win between PSG and Marseille?
Well, I think it might be a 2-0 PSG.
2-0 PSG.
Mbappe scoring the first goal, and then Neymar is scoring the second.
Okay. I'm going to plumb for Olympique Marseille because at a certain point you'd expect PSG might get tired of winning some nothing-y trophies. They may put out a weaker team. I'm going to say CD FAS against Sonsonate in El Salvador. Redmond, who do you think is going to win the...
CD FAS against... I have no idea what those teams are, but I think maybe that team,
CD FAS.
CD FAS.
All right, CD FAS. And
they'll win.
Sfaxien against Esperance.
Just one. They'll just win.
Sorry, who's going to win?
They.
Sfaxien. I'm going to say I think Esperance have too much about them, but I think it could be a draw, so I'm going to say 1-1. Right, moving on, staying in Europe. 2 of Redmond's games, if you will. Real Sociedad against Barcelona, taking place in Sociedad. I can't even think of it. Up in the Basque Country. So that's Sociedad's home game. It's on at 20 hours on the 13th, which is Wednesday. Who do you think is going to win that one, Redmond?
Well, I think it might actually be a 4-0 Barcelona win.
4-0 Barcelona win. Sociedad had been riding high on the waves. They are sliding. Barcelona are back up to third, a good bit behind Atletico and a bit behind Madrid. But Sociedad have had a good season. They'll fancy their chances. I'm going to plumb for a draw. It's going to be 1-1. 1-1 draw is what I'm going to say. Juventus against Genoa, Redmond, 20 hours 45, also on Wednesday. All the games are almost on Wednesday this week. Who do you think is going to win that?
Juventus 3-0 win.
3-0 to Juventus. Okay, Genoa aren't up to much. I can't see Juventus not winning, so I'll go 4-1.
Juventus.
And there aren't any women's games this week, and again, unfortunately, until the NWSL starts, there won't be any word of games outside of Europe. So, but no midweek games. There are probably some. If you know a place where I can find women's scores, please let me know. And please stop in the comments. Please stop fiddling with that drawer. Right, moving on. We're going to our feature this week. And this feature, I want to hit Costa Rica because it's midweek on tonight, which is Tuesday, Wednesday. I think there may even be a game on Thursday. The Costa Rican League is kicking off. Now, for those of you who follow Costa Rican football, you can turn off because I'm not going to say anything that you don't already know. But for those of you who don't... there's no particularly outstanding fixture this weekend, to my mind. I'm not an expert. But again, it's the usual suspects I'm expecting to see at the top of the table. Deportivo Saprissa, they always do pretty well. Club Sport Herediano, they tend to do pretty well. Those Alajuelense, apologies for pronunciation. Those are the typical three teams to look out for. Cartagines sometimes do a bit of business there. Guadalupe, maybe not. I'm clutching at a certain point. But people from the United States tend to have nothing positive to say about Costa Rican football. It's good football. It's passionate, arguesome stuff, and it's definitely worth a watch. That's kicking off this week again.
It's tomorrow and Wednesday.
Tomorrow is Wednesday and Thursday. That follows. It's a 12-team league. How many? I don't know if there's any promotion or relegation, but there is a 4-team playoff at the end. So expect to hear a little bit more from Costa Rica in the next little while.
And everyone has zeros.
Yeah, they haven't played a game yet.
Except for the two top teams.
Right, marching on, 2 more games to focus on. Firstly, we're going to look at South America, where we have the second legs of the two...
and Al-Nassr against Al-Duhail.
We're not talking about that yet, and you've murdered the pronunciation there. We've actually talked about those ones already. In South America, on over the midweek, we have the two... Redmond... People would like to see you not being weird, I'm sure. Okay. We have the 2 second legs of the Copa Libertadores. Boca and Santos are 0-0, but the next game is in Santos's ground. Palmeiras have probably knocked out River already at this point by being 3-0 up from playing in what the name of the stadium? In River Stadium. So I don't think that's particularly exciting. There is the second leg of who's in the second leg? Lanús and Vélez, who are both Argentine teams. Lanús winning 1-0, and this is taking place on Thursday at 1:30 in the morning. But this one, Coquimbo Unido against Defensa y Justicia from Argentina. This is the Copa Sudamericana. This is the first leg in their case. Coquimbo have, they've not got a big history in the competition. They have been there or thereabouts in Chile for a while, but this is the deepest they've ever gone. I think this is their second time. I think, am I right in saying they played in the Copa Libertadores? Maybe I could be getting things backwards here very easily. Defensa Justicia. This is their these guys. This is only the second time they've ever played in South American club competition. They had a trip into the Copa Libertadores in 1992. So these are two nobody teams. Lanús and Vélez are among the major teams in Argentina and South America. These two, I would not have put money on seeing them get this far. So that for me is possibly the single most exciting game this weekend. First leg of that taking place, I think the second leg's on Saturday, but the first leg is taking place tonight, Tuesday, at 23 hours 15 Central European time. Who do you think is going to win that one, Redmond?
Who's the teams?
Coquimbo Unido. And Defensa Justicia.
So, I think Defensa Justicia might actually win.
They might.
One.
Either of them can win. I'm going to go safe and conservative and say Coquimbo Unido to have a home victory in this match. And finally, to round them out, a massive one I've got the dates wrong on this. A massive one taking place on Friday, which is the 15th, not the 10th as it'll say in the preview, in Saudi Arabia. Ahli against Al Hilal. Again, we are touring some of the more exciting nations in the world in some senses at the moment. Qatar, Saudi Arabia, El Salvador, Costa Rica is one of the safer ones, and Tunisia as well. So this is Lonely Planet. Don't go here if you are anyway scared of different things. But Al Ahli against Al Hilal, these are the two biggest teams by a long way in Saudi Arabia. Al Ahli are currently third, while Al Hilal are first. Again, always a big occasion. It's taking place on after Juma. It should be an absolute cracker of a game. Redmond, who do you think is going to win this one?
I think it's just going to be a 0-0 draw.
0-0 draw. You are going to mess with the good people of Saudi Arabia by having the two biggest teams play a draw.
Because they're
That's scoreless draw.
Because both the teams are so good, the keepers are so good, it's going to be hard to get past them. Well,
I'm going to say 3-2. I think this is going to be a lot of blood and courage, just like... why would you do that?
I'm just thinking big
Is it because... Okay. I think it's going to be a lot of blood and courage, like Esteghlal and Persepolis. I think it's going to be 3-2. And I'm going to go with Al Hilal to win. So that is it, folks. This is our... these are our estimates for the week, our predictions, our previews, whatever way you want to put it. 24 minutes we've just hit. We're getting better. It'll take a while. Redmond, do you have anything to say in parting?
I think the games will all be good games. Good playing from all the sides. And try their best to put the ball in the back of the net, like how you win, putting the ball in the back of the net. You win the game.
Well, anyway, these are our picks for the week. One from every continent and a couple of personal ones. You have a great week. We'll talk to you on Friday. Bye. Oh, that's the wrong one. Need to put up the preview one. Say bye.
Bye.